agree with that. I mean, we know the surpluses are heading for tens of billions in the next few years. Why do we feel and look like a poor country in so many aspects of society? We don't have enough houses. We've record homeless figures. We can't finish hospitals on time. We have 281 children who are waiting for spinal surgery. The Hospital Consultants Group says there's a record 913,000 people on some form of hospital waiting list. There's over 160 autistic children who are being denied their constitutional right to having an education, a school place. People are queuing in traffic every day. We can't build a metro system. The water infrastructure we've spoken about. Why are you failing to deliver on these essential services for the citizens?
I would disagree fundamentally with you when you say that we look like a poor country. We're not a poor country. We don't look like a poor country. You've made your point now. Let me counteract what I think is an extremely negative, partisan and one-sided analysis of where modern Ireland is. If you take, for example, health. 20-odd years ago, we were at the lower rung of the table in terms of life expectancy. We're now at the top rung of the EU table in terms of life expectancy. If you take special education, for example, and we need to do more, the investment has ramped up in terms of 11 new special schools again, thousands of special needs assistants in their schools, thousands of extra teachers in the last 3 years alone. If you look at the PISA results, which measures literacy and numeracy across the world, Ireland is in the top quartile, if not the top 3 in Europe. That's not a poor country.
No.
But I do accept the point that there cohorts of our population are not in a situation where they should be. I think in medicine, for example, and coming out, again, like the IHA is a lobby and an advocacy. We engage with them. And I think they could equally make the point in terms of health. There's been a dramatic transformation of women's health, for example, in terms of the work that Stephen Donnelly has done, in terms of the menopause clinics, in terms of free IVF now coming on stream.
900,000 on a waiting list, they say.
More, I know, they're not right there now. Come on, the waiting lists have come down significantly since 2021, and the statistics are there, which the Minister outlined yesterday. They're coming down quite significantly and have since 2021.
But do you agree it's not a good country to be sick in? It's not a good country to be poor in?
I don't agree with that. This country, I just explained, survival rates in cancer have increased exponentially in this country in the last 20 years because of national strategies in cancer, cardiovascular. Our heart disease rate has plummeted from where it was 20 years ago.
But we know the battles that families with children with disabilities and children who are sick have constantly.
Yes, and that's, I mean, and that is where we've invested enormously. So the issue in health is investment and reform in governance of our health services. In education, I would argue, and I accept there are certain areas that annoy me and make me angry, and that would be the therapies, for example. I think the system has not, in terms of progressing disability, has not worked for parents, has not worked for families, and that's why Fianna Fáil want a completely new departure from where we've been on special needs therapists in particular. I want multidisciplinary teams in our schools, starting with special schools, which we had 20 years ago, but the new system that the HSE brought in 2013 and then governments has not worked, and families have not got the therapists or access to therapies that they require, and that's something that's I would acknowledge and